Hello friends, this is Terry sending you out a distance energy healing with Reiki and a pendulum energy clearing. Clear out anything that may have come from that Pisces Supermoon Lunar Eclipse catharsis that I was talking about in the last video. And that was the Sabian symbol, was a catharsis. And let me know in the comments if you had some kind of catharsis from that eclipse. And here it is just a few days later, and we are at the autumn equinox. Woo! I love the energy of this day. I was able to get out in nature and come to my favorite river spot, and the air is crystal clear, breathable, fresh air. Life is good. And this equinox season, we're at this perfect balance of light and dark, yin and yang, divine feminine energy and divine masculine energy is perfectly balanced as we enter that Libra scale season. Beautiful to have this kind of equilibrium, that state in which all of the opposing forces are balanced and the influences that affect us are even keeled, evenly balanced as we enter the Libra season of the perfect scales. And we get ready for that Libra solar eclipse coming in October 2nd. We are just swimming in the eclipse portal now. How are you feeling? Let me know in the comments. How has it been? I know there's been a lot of deep purging, emotional purging. I've had a lot of clients when I was doing the eclipse astrology readings. A lot of people are going through some heavy things that they are releasing in this eclipse portal. It's really big. And of course, we've been having all those geomagnetic storms with the solar flip as the sun is preparing to flip the magnetic poles. All year we're experiencing this, and into 2025. It's not like it happens in one day. It's a whole 3-year process of the magnetic poles flipping the north and south. There's just a lot of big old energies coming up on this equinox, and there's a lot to process during this time. And I feel like I've been saying this all year because this has been true all year. You might need a little more time and space to go within, to process all the feels that are coming up this equinox, and to really recalibrate to this new energy that's pouring onto our planet right now, and to reset this season and to align to the higher vibrational energy that's coming in. We did a recording recently called The Stars Align, and it has this higher vibrational frequency music that sort of helps you to align to this new energy that's coming in. As the Schumann resonance has been off the charts the last week. If you follow the Schumann resonance, it's been crazy. And so if you're having a hard time aligning to the new energies, or you're just going through any kind of catharsis from that eclipse portal, I highly recommend just sleeping with these higher vibrational binaural frequencies that I infuse with distance Reiki healing to support you on this path. And this is a time when we're going to want more self-healing and just trying to clean up your energetic vibration and get all the self-care you need this season. As we go more, our energies are going more inward, just like a tree will bring all of its energy back down into the roots as we move into the fall season. The trees bring their energy, all the plants bring their energy back into the roots. So this is the time to root down, to ground yourself, to pull all your energies back within, get a little more introverted, become a little more quiet. And I'm really seeing this in my massage practice where clients are coming in and they're just falling asleep on the table. It's like an instant shift. Everybody's just going down. This is the time to go down, to spiral down. And I'm finding a bit of a shift where I just want to talk less, listen more, and just listen to the sound of this water for a moment. Is that just so soothing? Nature heals, and if you can get out in nature, absolutely get out in nature for that deep healing. And if you require healing this season, if you're really feeling you need some kind of healing, remember that I do distance Reiki energy healings. I can do distance Reiki through Zoom. I do distance energy clearings, and I'm also having a Reiki for Abundance class on Sunday, October 13th in Bend, where you will receive a Reiki attunement, that Reiki level 1 attunement that will open your heart so that you can raise your vibration energetically to align with everything that you desire, so that you can become an energetic match to everything you're trying to call in right now. And people ask me all the time, how do you manifest? How do you manifest everything so well? And it's really about raising your energetic vibration to become an energetic match to the things that you want to have in your see in your life. And Reiki was where I learned how to do this. Having that Reiki attunement in my Reiki for Abundance class, that just raises your vibration so you can just manifest instantly. It is phenomenal. And I'm also having my Reiki for Abundance class available online. If you can't make it to Bend and you just want to try getting a Reiki attunement through the magic of quantum distance Reiki healing, this is pretty phenomenal. This is the first time I've offered this class. I'm offering it on Teachable, and for a limited time it will be available here on YouTube for my YouTube members. And I'll put a link down in the description. I'm only going to have it available for YouTube Reiki Tribe members until October 30th. And then it will only be available on Teachable. But I will put a link down to all that below. And this autumn equinox, I am really delving into the Pluto vibes. Pluto at that critical degree. 29 degrees of Capricorn. Here we go again. As we begin our Persephone descent into the underworld, ruled by Hades, the underworld ruled also by Pluto. Planet Pluto rules over the underworld in Scorpio. And this season is really my favorite, when Persephone goes into the underworld. If you don't know the story, Persephone was either kidnapped, or perhaps she went willingly because she was in love. Who knows? Only Persephone knows what happened. But Persephone was taken to the underworld by Hades, who she does end up marrying Hades later in the story. But then her mother, goddess Demeter, was so upset that Persephone had been taken down to Hades that Demeter fought to get Persephone back, as any good mother would try to take their daughter back when a man has kidnapped or stolen them away. But the gods said Persephone had to stay in the underworld, because while she was under there, the rule goes, if you eat anything, you have to stay in the underworld. So if you ever find yourself in the underworld, whether you've been kidnapped or gone willingly, do not eat anything while you are there. Persephone ate just 3 little pomegranate seeds, and that is why pomegranates come ripe at this time to represent Persephone. And Persephone, for eating those pomegranate seeds, in that moment she summoned her fate to have to live out her life in the underworld. But Demeter, strong mom that she is, she fought the gods as much as she could to get Persephone back at least half the year. So that's why we have these seasons. This is the story of seasons. And when it's fall, Persephone is going back into the underworld. And that's when everything is dying and the rains come, because that is when Demeter, who is the goddess of crops and weather and all of this, Demeter is so upset that Persephone has to go back to the underworld, that everything dies, and the rains represent Demeter's tears for her daughter. Demeter is crying, and then there is rain and floods. And then in the spring, Persephone can come back to this world, and then Demeter is so happy that then we have flowers and rainbows and all the beautiful things. So that is the story. But right now, as Persephone is going into the underworld, Pluto is coming in so strong. And pay attention on your chart to where Pluto at that critical degree of 29 degrees Capricorn is, because today, as I record this, we've got Sun trine Pluto. Remember, trines are always an opportunity. And Pluto is still in that retrograde season. Pluto is retrograde. That's why Pluto went from Aquarius retrograded all the way back to Capricorn. And this can be a time to really step into your power and find where Capricorn at 29 degrees is in your chart, because that is where Pluto is returning again and again and again, as Pluto has been since 2020, when we had all the COVID shutdowns and everything. And now we're in this final pass of this incredibly pivotal, critical degree of Capricorn at 29 degrees that has truly transformed our entire world. Think of how much your life has changed since 2020. And Pluto is the great transformer who rules over power. And Pluto also rules over lost things. So maybe there was something you lost. Maybe you lost your job, or you lost your relationship, or you lost your cat, whatever it is. Pluto now coming back across that Capricorn 29 degrees, you can ask Pluto to return that lost thing, that lost person. What have you lost? Leave it in the comments. If you lost something and you want to have it returned, leave it in the comments and I will send Reiki, because we have in Reiki, we have a special symbol. If my students are watching, I know they know this. We have a special symbol that is for returning lost things. So I will do distance Reiki to return your lost thing. If there's something you've lost that you want to bring back on this once in a lifetime opportunity. Wow, the Sun is trine, this Pluto and Capricorn 29 degrees. We're not going to have Pluto at this point for much longer, and this is the last time in our lifetime that Pluto will be at 29 degrees, unless you live to be another 220 years when Pluto next returns to Capricorn 29 degrees. That will be 2255. 2255, that's the next time. So this is a time to really reflect on what have you also learned since Pluto has been in Capricorn. What have you learned over the last 4 years? Leave it in the comments. And have you become resilient, or have you become exhausted? What has this process done for you? And what has transformed for you since 2020? And we've all been changed in big ways in the last 4 years. If you just take a moment, this is a time to get out your journal and just do some reflection about, like, wow, all these things have changed. I've seen people move away. I've seen businesses go out of business. I've seen huge transformations in family members and friends, and all kinds of stuff has happened since Pluto's been in Capricorn these last 4 years. And this 29 degrees of Capricorn, that critical degree that represents really the end of an era. And it reminds me of the REM song, it's the end of the world as we know it. We are stepping into the great unknown, the age of Aquarius. When Pluto goes direct and goes into Aquarius, we will be saying goodbye to a whole era. If you're old like me, it's kind of hard to say goodbye to that era because it's been a great world, but we're going into a whole new unknown paradigm right now. And we are stepping into that unknown age of Aquarius. But first, we stand at the top of a steep cliff, just like the mountain goat that is Capricorn. And we stand on that steep cliff and just look over the terrain at what has changed. And we search for some kind of answers. What did it all mean? And Pluto is still in that grand trine with Neptune and Uranus. I talked all about this in my Supermoon Pisces Eclipse. If you haven't watched it, it's a really rare grand trine KITE alignment that will be with us for a while now. And this is our hope for the future. We hope that as we move into this Aquarius age that things are going to get better. It's a hope for harmony. It's a prayer for peace. It's an uplifting grand trine KITE. And it brings this kind of alchemy that we could change our life for the better right now. And our world is changing for the better with this KITE transit. And this is an equinox where miracles can really happen. Something really positive is coming in with this Pluto, Sun trine Pluto. And I will talk more about this trine even again in my solar eclipse Libra video that I'm also doing that has this magical Sabian symbol about relief after crisis. And of course, we opened this eclipse portal with a catharsis. Maybe you had that catharsis, that healing crisis. And we end this eclipse portal with relief after crisis. I think that is really hopeful. And it feels like the angels are heralding in a smooth transition from this Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn to Aquarius. Those signs may seem really different because Capricorn is so stern, like a strict father or a harsh teacher. Capricorn gives us rules, regulations, structure, law that keeps us in line. Capricorn's just trying to keep us safe, you know? Saturn and Capricorn keeping us safe. But now we are moving into Aquarius, which is that freedom-loving hippie that is like barefoot at a music festival. I mean, those two people could not be more different, Capricorn and Aquarius. But guess what? They were both ruled by Saturn. Because before Uranus was discovered, Aquarius used to be ruled by Saturn. So Aquarius has some of that Saturnian, I want to make the world a better place, just like Capricorn. They have a common good. And the common good is for the collective awakening, which we are experiencing all year. Collective awakening, I've been talking about it. I know you've heard me talk about it if you watch this channel. And we are shifting in to this new reality. It's happening right now during this eclipse portal. And it will be an interesting transition for sure. And some of us have Pluto in Virgo. And if you were born between 1957 through 1972, raise your hand, comment below, 1952 to 1972, you have Pluto in Virgo. And this equinox, the sun is conjunct our natal Pluto, in addition to this sun trine. So it's really a Pluto trine Pluto for those of us in Sun in Virgo. And this is giving us a superpower to really step into our divine purpose, to become the soul teacher, to help others transform their lives. And when you get into alignment with this higher vibrational energy, you can help the collective awakening that is happening. It's so exciting, and that's what calls me to want to teach more and more Reiki and to put my Reiki classes online so I can reach a greater audience to support this collective awakening. And I've been doing so many Reiki sessions for clients who have this Pluto and Virgo that are around my age in their 50s, and they're all feeling just a massive shift to step into their divine purpose, to do meaningful work, to teach other people, to write a book, to have this time to rise to something greater. And let me know if you are Pluto and Virgo, if you're feeling it too. And we also have Kamala Harris, who has Pluto in Virgo. And of course, she is truly stepping into her divine feminine power with that Venus rising and winning this election. I know she will. She's got Pluto has her back. Pluto is giving her the power to rule, and Pluto is empowering her, and she is just supported by so many higher forces, including Venus, who will be in the galactic center next month when we have the election. Venus conjunct the galactic center will be crossing Kamala's midheaven. I mean, if that doesn't say a landslide win. And if you want more about that, I did a separate video on Kamala's chart where I talk about that Venus at the galactic center. And I've said since the beginning that Venus will pick the winner, and ding, 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 it's Kamala. And this trine of opportunity with Pluto that is helping all of us, it's really helping Virgo, Pluto and Virgos, to overcome something stressful as well. If you've been going through a stressful situation, it's time to pay off your bills, get out of debt, clean out your garage, remodel your kitchen. What can you do to improve your life situation so you have more ease and grace this equinox? This is an opportunity to make more money, to have a dramatic life change. Maybe you get a new job, a promotion. Choose a higher path in your life right now that supports you better. Financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally. And clean up your thoughts so that you can support your forward momentum by giving yourself loving, kind, positive, affirmative thoughts. As Bruce Lee said, as you think, so shall you become. And this is a time to make sure for everyone, make sure your inner thoughts are aligned to what you want to see in your outer world. You can't create this beautiful life situation if your inner thoughts are just so negative. And I am preaching to myself right now because I think we all get into these negative thought patterns of not enough or scarcity or I wish I had that. And instead we need to be having very supportive, appreciative, give thanks for all that you do have and appreciate your life, and you will see more good things come to you. And this sun in Virgo is also opposite Neptune in Pisces for just one more day as we enter into the equinox. My Virgo friends can tell you all about it. They've been feeling it for years now. So there may be during this equinox period confusion, delusion, and that Alice in Wonderland. I'm not really sure what's going on and what's real and what is fantasy and what am I imagining. Am I imagining this whole thing? And I would not sign a contract or buy any swampland under this influence this week, but it will all be over as soon as we're firmly planted into Libra. So you may be going into this equinox feeling a little fuzzy, but we're about to get more mental clarity. As Mercury in Virgo, though, is also opposite Saturn in Pisces, this can also bring some pessimistic worrying about things that aren't even happening, or downright delusional in Pisces. And I always say, worrying's like praying for what you don't want. So if you're feeling doom and gloom about our world, about the war, about the election, about the finances, whatever you're worried about, get out in nature. Nature will help you see that everything's going to be okay, because when you get out in nature and you're breathing fresh air, as I am today, and you're seeing the beautiful birds and butterflies and rivers flowing, you will feel that all is well in our world. And then you can start reaching for those higher vibrational thoughts, reaching for that better energy, getting in alignment with a more positive outlook. And maybe this really is a simulation and we are creating it all. So be careful about what you're thinking and feeling, and try to reach for a better thought, reach for a better feeling, reach for better energy. And you can use this alchemy of Pluto to turn that negativity, just put it in the cauldron and turn it to gold, right? Get out of your mind for a minute and get into nature. It feels really good. The I Ching for this equinox is number 58. I just had to do it. I felt really called to do an I Ching reading today because I was feeling kind of hopeful and I was like, I wonder what the I Ching says. And the I Ching is lake over lake. It's water on top of water, which could symbolize floods. And I know we are having flooding with that Pisces supermoon, so I hope it's not flooding. But this hexagram shows double water. Water over water. And water in Chinese medicine, feng shui, and 9-star key, water always represents wealth. So water over water is very auspicious. That brings great joy and abundance. And abundance comes from joy. Have you ever just gotten really into that joy state? Like maybe you're falling in love and then all these other really cool things start to happen because you're on that upward spiral of manifesting better and better things because you feel so good. That is what this I Ching is all about. And it feels very hopeful. And joy is returning to our world. Just take a moment and breathe that statement in. Joy is returning to our world, and the power of joy should not be underestimated. For whatever brings you joy will become the source of so much potential and abundance for you. Surround yourself with people who reflect and support your own inner joy, doing things that make you happy. Because if your happiness is supported by stability, it can wear down the stiffest barriers and win over the hardest hearts. And this true joy is a beacon of light in an otherwise dark world. And the presence of such joy is an indication of extremely good fortune to come. So I am just wishing you a joyful, abundant equinox. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.